Hi, I'm here to answer a frequently asked question about what is the difference between a therapist and a psychologist and a psychiatrist. So let me start with a therapist because that's what I do. So a therapist generally has a master's degree in counseling or marriage and family therapy, and then after they graduate with their master's degree, they're required to get a certain number of hours with clients. So for me, that was 3,000 hours. So I did, and things have changed a little bit, but for the most part, it's about correct currently. So I had to see 3,000 clients. That means that I didn't see 3,000 different clients, but I saw a certain amount of clients over a matter of 3,000 hours, and that takes several years to do, and that's under supervision. And then once you've done that, then you can test to become licensed. So marriage and family therapist tends to see couples, kids, individuals, that are experiencing troubles or problems or issues in many different areas. So then each therapist can specialize in different areas as well. So somebody might be more specialized in attention deficit disorder. Another person might be more experienced in depression or anxiety or what have you. So part of when you're looking for a therapist, you want to look at what their experience is and if it matches what you're needing. So that's a marriage and family therapist. And then there's also an associate marriage and family therapist. And so an associate means that they've gotten their master's degree and they're working on those hours to be able to take their licensing test. So they're being supervised by a licensed clinician. And so that's marriage and family therapist, master's degree. There's also clinical social workers, and they also have a master's degree, and they're trained in very similar ways. There's little differences here and there, but for the most part, if you see a marriage and family therapist or a clinical licensed social worker, you're gonna get very similar experiences. Social workers tend to be more trained in resourcing. So resourcing would mean like if a client needs housing or they're needing social support groups or whatever, they tend to be trained more in those aspects, whereas a therapist is trained more in actually treatment and therapy and diagnosis and stuff like that a little bit more. And so in those experience hours that you gain before you get licensed, therapists can certainly work for places where they learn more about resources and stuff like that, and clinical social workers can oftentimes work in places where they're getting more treatment experience, so that way when they're licensed, they're very similar in a lot of ways. Okay, and so there's also psychiatrists. So psychiatrist has a medical degree, a doctorate degree. They are called doctor, as they should be. They worked really hard for that degree, and a majority of what they do is prescribe medication for mental health conditions. So you can go to your medical doctor a lot of times, if you have depression or whatever, a lot of times they can prescribe you something for that. But if the regular medical doctor can't really figure it out, then a psychiatrist is the right way to go because they have specialized experience in that. So whereas a medical doctor, when they go to med school, they learn how to deal with broken bones and sore throats and whatever. A psychiatrist actually, a majority of their med school is about diagnosis and medication with mental health conditions. And so if you're not getting anywhere with your regular doctor, or your regular doctor says, hey, this is an issue that really you should be going to a psychiatrist for, that's why. So a psychiatrist prescribes medication. So a marriage and family therapist does not prescribe medication, nor does a clinical social worker. We might say, hey, it would be a good idea for you to go see a psychiatrist to get evaluated for medication, or perhaps, hey, it might be a good idea to go to a psychiatrist just to get a second opinion on your diagnosis so I can make sure that we're going in the right direction. But a psychiatrist generally sees people less often because it's just medication management. So they might see you every week or every month at the beginning, but usually when you're set on your medication, they see you less often. Could be every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, what have you. And then there's a psychologist. They have a doctorate degree in psychology, so they did not go to med school, but their experience is more in testing. And so they can certainly see clients in a clinical setting and do therapy. And a lot of times they see clients more with issues such as schizophrenia or something a little bit more intense than an actual regular marriage and family therapist might do. That being said, if a marriage and family therapist has, a lot of experience in a certain area, like a personality disorder or like schizophrenia, then they can certainly be qualified as well. But psychologists tend to be more educated in testing. So I hope that was helpful. And if you have more questions, feel free to give me a call. All right, have a great day.